Hi everyone. So I've been saying for a few weeks now that there's no evidence to say that the Russians were behind the poisoning of Yulia and Sergei Skripal, and there's been some breaking news development today. This is from The Guardian. Porton Down experts unable to verify precise source of Novichok. This is what I've been saying for weeks. I and many others, probably everybody who watches this, didn't believe it either. British scientists at Porton Down have not been able to establish where the Novichok nerve agent used to poison Sergei and Yulia Skripal was made. It has emerged. Gary Aikenhead, the chief executive of the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory at Porton Down, Wiltshire, said it had not proved it was created in Russia. Here's the interview with him.
We, in terms of our role, were able to identify it as Novichok, to identify that it was a military-grade nerve agent. We have not verified the precise source, but we provided the scientific information to the government, who have then used a number of other sources to piece together the conclusions that they've come to.
But you have not been able to establish at Porton Down that this was made in Russia.
As I said, it's our job to provide, the scientific evidence that identifies what the particular nerve agent is. We identified that it was from this family and that it's a military-grade nerve agent, but it's not our job to then say where that actually was manufactured.
Is it possible to establish where these things are manufactured?
It can be established through a number of different input sources which the government has access to. From our perspective, scientific evidence is only one of those sources, and it requires a number of other things in order to verify that.
So to be clear, you're not able at Porton Down to say where it is from?
At this stage, with the work that we've done thus far, we've been able to establish that it's Novichok or from that family. We are continuing to work to help to provide additional information that might help us get closer to, the question that you asked, but we haven't yet been able to do that.
Which is why the government and Theresa May always use the same terminology when talking about this. It's why they always say of a type developed in Russia or of a type made in Russia, because there's no evidence from Porton Down to say it was Russia that did it. And as I've pointed out in other videos, it can be manufactured anywhere. This stuff can. It's made of materials that are quite freely available, as Craig Murray has stated many times. Now, Craig Murray was a ambassador to Uzbekistan, and as I've pointed out in another video as well, Uzbekistan is not part of Russia. It's actually a country about 800, 1,000 kilometers away from Russia's border that was part of the Soviet Union. Now, the video I did recently, I'll leave a link up there, dismantling the BBC Newsnight sort of documentary thing on Shikhani in Russia, which is where they were saying this nerve agent came from, I said was totally false. It wasn't Shikhani at all. And remember, I was covering a BBC Newsnight programme. That was BBC Newsnight. They were saying it was Shikhani and it can't be anywhere else. Well, you know what? I've been doing some digging today, and look what I found. This is the BBC's website. World, Asia Pacific, US dismantles chemical weapons, by Central Asia correspondent Luis Hidalgo. A group of American defense experts have arrived in Uzbekistan to start helping the Uzbeks dismantle and decontaminate one of the former Soviet Union's largest chemical weapons testing facilities. US officials say the Chemical Research Institute in western Uzbekistan was a major research site for new generation of secret, highly lethal chemical weapons known as Novichok. So in the documentary they were saying all the evidence points to it being Shikhani in Russia, and yet the BBC in 1999, this was, have said Novichok was being developed in Uzbekistan. Well, which one is it, BBC? And the beautiful thing about this story, all falling to pieces, is the liars and the lies start to come to the surface. And although Theresa May's been very careful in her wording, and other government officials have, so they can come out and say, oh, we didn't lie. You're bloody misleading now, I will say that. They didn't lie, but they were very misleading. There is one government official who has been caught in a lie. And unsurprisingly, it's this guy, Boris Johnson. This is from RT. Now, this was the 23rd of March 2018. And in that, it says, in an interview with Deutsche Welle, is that how you pronounce the name, Deutsche? On Thursday, the UK Foreign Secretary claimed that Porton Down scientists were absolutely categorical in confirming to him that the source of the nerve agent, identified by the UK as A234, also known as Novichok, was Russian. Johnson said, quote, "Let me be clear with you. The people from Porton Down, the laboratory, they were absolutely categorical, and I asked the guy myself. I said, are you sure? And he said, there's no doubt." If only there was video evidence of him saying that.
And that's why
Mr. Johnson, you argue that the source of this nerve agent, Novichok, is Russia. How did you manage to find it out so quickly? Does Britain possess samples of this?
Well, I interrogated very closely, as you can. This is a very. I mean, let me be clear with you. I wanted, when I became Foreign Secretary almost 2 years ago, one of my objectives was to try to reach out to Russia. I really did. And I went to see Sergei Lavrov in Moscow, against the advice of some people, by the way, who said it was a totally futile venture. But I wanted to, because I genuinely think Russia is an incredible country, a fantastic place, and it pains me to see the way things have got between us. And so I'm genuinely distressed by what has happened. But when I look at the evidence, I mean, the people from Porton Down, the laboratory.
So they have the samples.
They do, and they were absolutely categorical. And I asked the guy myself. I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "There's no doubt." So we have very little alternative but to take the action that we have taken.
So let me just isolate the moment she says, "So they have the samples," and you can hear him. He says, "They do." Listen.
I'm genuinely distressed by what has happened. But when I look at the evidence, I mean, the people from Porton Down, the laboratory.
So they have the samples.
They do.
So there you go. Boris Johnson caught in a lie that has led to diplomats being ejected all over the world, all over Europe and Canada and America. Russian diplomats, over 120 of them, because of misleading information, and in this instance with Boris Johnson, just a flat-out lie. It's going to be interesting to see what develops from this, so I'll keep you updated. I'm sure that as the days go by, other revelations are going to come to the fore, and it's also going to be interesting to see how the unbelievably shit media cover it too, because they're not questioning this at all. Remember, the media have not been questioning it, not just in the UK but in the US as well. Nobody is questioning it. The people who are questioning this and saying this is bullshit are everybody else. I have not met anybody in the public yet who have said, yeah, Russia did it. They've all said, nah, this is bollocks. All of them. Everybody I've met, online and in real life. And when we've talked about it, none of them believe it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the media portrays this, and because they should have uncovered this a long time ago. Yeah, I'll keep you informed on it. Thanks very much for watching. Please click subscribe, click the bell as well, please. I know some people are going to be peed off with me saying it all the time, but if you don't click the bell, you won't see any of my future videos, unfortunately. They will be hidden from your subscription feed. Until next time, take care and peace.